The chain of dog-like events. So, I know I've hinted at this video for a long time, but now it's time to actually do it. I'm going to tell you what happened to my dogs. Yay! You see, we used to have 5 dogs: Princess, Cinderella, Ariel, Snow White, and Little Prince. And you guys have even seen some of them in previous videos. Just to be clear, I'm not going to talk about my entire dog history, because my mom is a dog breeder, so she had lots of dogs that came and went over the years, but the 5 dogs I'm talking about are more prevalent in my memory, and was part of a chain of events. If you'd like to hear more about the dogs that I'm not going to talk about in this video, do let me know in the comments. So, let's begin. To give you some background, this is where the dogs were, and our neighbors is who we suspect was the main cause of the following events. First, our oldest puppy, Princess, went missing. Princess was our oldest dog. She was the first dog my mom received, and was the same age as me. Me and Princess were the best of friends. We grew up side by side after all. Me and her shared a deep bond, and as such, at the time I knew she wasn't dead yet. She'd been missing for weeks, possibly a month, but we were hopeful that she was still alive. And so we searched, until my mother and some of my siblings saw her on the other side of the road. We weren't sure it was her until we approached the body, but if the body was there the whole time, we would have known. It was in a place that would have been easily seen from our front yard. But the suspiciousness of the situation didn't change that she was gone. My mom got a box for her body, and my sister dug a hole. We had a memorial for her and said our goodbyes. My mom was out for blood. Her puppy, the first puppy she'd ever had, was gone, and she knew it was the neighbors. The neighbors have always been violent towards our dogs, despite having dogs themselves. They have called the police on multiple occasions reporting our dogs for barking, when their dogs do the same. From what my mom told me, they had even heard our dogs through the fence with cigarette butts. My mom knew Princess's death was no mistake, though I was a bit iffy on whether to believe it or not. My mom went to court with them and nothing came of it. Things went on as usual. I don't remember exactly how much time had passed. I think it was about a year. We had moved our dogs to a different corner of our yard. Moving them there would keep them safe from the neighbors, or so we thought. But at some point, 2 of our dogs went missing. Our cat went missing as well. My mom suspected the neighbors for our dogs going missing, but she had no idea what was happening with the cat. But due to all the animals dying around us, I figured we just had bad luck. Around the same time, our turtle went missing and died. A cat ate a rat poison and died. Another cat was missing, so the dogs going missing didn't seem all that strange anymore. Maybe in another video, I'll tell you about the other animals that died around that time. But for now, let's focus on the dogs. The 2 dogs that went missing were Ariel and Little Prince. We searched over and over again. We found nothing. A few weeks later, Little Prince was found still stuck in the cage, lifeless. We had looked in that exact spot so many times, there was no way his body was there the entire time, just like Princess's. Sure, he could have wiggled his way to that spot, and he'd done it before, but we looked there so many times. There was absolutely no way that every single one of us missed him, and we would have heard him. My mom once again suspected the neighbors, but still had no proof, and I didn't know what to think about another puppy gone. Now Ariel. We found her a few months after she went missing. Once again, she was found in the cage. By the time I saw her, she looked like a rug. There was no way her body had been there the first 2 weeks we looked for her. There was still food in the cage, and she would have been fine. She wouldn't have died. But the moment I actually noticed it was her was kind of funny, actually. I noticed something behind a shelf that was in the area. It looked like a rug, but when I tried to pick it up, it wasn't. I grabbed a bag and tried to use it to pick it up. Whatever it was, it smelled horrible, but when I tried to pick it up, all that came out was a skull. Ariel? But to confirm my suspicions, I went up to my mom, skull in hand, and said, "Hey Mom, do you think this is Ariel?" I know this sounds bad, but to be honest, my family isn't really the best at noticing when things are sad. And at this point, nothing really seemed all that bad. So it was just funny. Either way, my mom agreed that that was definitely Ariel's skull. So I grabbed a shovel, scooped up the remains, put it in a bag, dug a hole, and buried it. Me and my brothers dug a lot of holes that year. Don't even get me started on the chickens. A lot of them died that year as well. Either way, the two remaining dogs were old, but they were alive. One of them was sent to my sister, who moved out so they can get more attention in their last months. Eventually, she was having seizures every day, so she had to get put down. My mom insisted to let her die naturally and just give her pain pills until it happens, but half her face was droopy all the time, and every few seconds she'd be in pain. So it was the end for her, I'm afraid. Once again, we dug a hole, buried her, and had a bit of a funeral. Now that Snow White is 6 feet under, let's talk about Cinderella. Cinderella is still here, though we know she's not gonna last much longer because of her old age. Cinderella lives her days happily with my big sister, and sometimes my brother. They do spend a lot of time here at my home, though. And obviously, there's much more I want to say about those dogs, about their hardships, about their lives, about our time spent together. And there's other animals I want to talk about as well. But I'm sure I kept you all here too long. So this is the end of the chain of dog-like events. Like, subscribe, do what you do, and have a fantastic day. Oh, and thanks for watching!